To create a blog site, we're going to have to go into Google, because Google runs blogspot.com. I'm going to get to More. I'm going to go to Blogger. Now, I'm presuming you already have a Google account. If you don't, you need to set one up. I'm going to go into a class account that has never had a blog before. I'm going to pass through this screen here that just says continue on to Blogger. Alright, so what am I going to do? Well, I don't have a blog out here at the moment. I'm going to create a new blog. I need to give it a title and an address. I'm just going to say this is Demo Portfolio Blog Site. The address, best make up something strange here, perhaps your name and some numbers. So I'm going to say Jim Janossy. Well, that's available, but I'm just going to make it something a little more unique so I don't run into a problem, and I'll just do something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's available, great. Let me choose a template. I choose picture window for the specific type of blog I'm encouraging you to set up. Let's create the blog. Well, it was created successfully. What's it look like? Let's take a look. Well, that's about it so far. This picture has come from a profile I've already established. By the way, that's me and my little grandson, Luke. So what am I going to do with this at this point? Well, I do have something in mind. I've already created a graphic for this blog. I'm going to go find that graphic and I'm going to use it to replace this default title up here. Then I'm going to put in a post that is my home page. I'm going to take out various junk. I'm going to insert pages so I have a menu to my pages, and all of those things I start doing with design. The first thing I want to do in design is to go down and choose a picture window variation that is this middle one, because that's going to give me what I intend to have, a nice banner at the top. So I'm going to apply this to the blog, and then I'd like to see the blog. Well, now I have this at the top. It's this that I'm going to replace with a banner that I've created for this purpose. If you haven't created a banner yet, you need to look at the first video in this series to go ahead and do that. Let's go to Design. Let's go to Layout. And here, with this banner at the top, I'm going to Edit. And what I really want to do, I want my banner to replace what's there now. I'm going to choose the file from my computer, and I've already done this and created a banner out here in my previous video. So that's what I'm going to use. And notice this banner, the dimensions are 930, happens to be a little bit taller than what I'm recommending to you. I'm recommending that you use 250 pixels, and I have 327 here, but that's okay. It's good enough for example purposes. So it's taking it up here, and I'm going to save. Now I have to save this arrangement or I won't get it. And then let's view the blog. Okay, you can see the banner here isn't particularly appropriate for your professional website. This is one I created earlier for a website that lists software at discounts for DePaul students. It ordinarily has square corners, but this really is a nice template because it does a nice effect here of rounding the corners for you. As long as what you've created is 930 pixels wide, you won't get any shrinkage here. You won't get things cut off, and you won't get this too short, and you won't get it reduced in scale. So we're partway there now. Now what I need to do is to go over here to Design once again. I want to check to make sure that Pages is on, and that these things have a side link. You can see it defaults to don't show, so I'm going to get a funny effect. It's going to look like things I'm doing aren't taking effect unless I come here first. I want side links. Let's save that arrangement, and let's view the blog now. Now I've got this appearing here. My home page is actually a page on which I need to make a post. So how do I make a post? Well, it turns out I go back to design, I go to posts, create a new post, and here I'm just going to put in some sample verbiage. This is where you tell a little about yourself, just to introduce yourself. And you might also include a picture. So take a look at my sample. In fact, I will include a picture here. The way to do that is to decide where you want the picture to go and to click this little symbol, Insert Image. Now, where am I going to get an image from? Well, once again, I've got to choose Files. It turns out that I do have a place here, and you see I'm using Dropbox. I have a place where I put general purpose stuff like this, and I have some pictures, and here's a picture that I mark in the title 150 pixels wide. That's about the right size for this sort of a picture. So I've indicated I want to upload that. Here's the picture. Now I add it to the blog. And I can format where I want it to go by clicking on it, and I think I'd like to have it go to the left. Now let's save this, and let's publish this. You're going to get this up, and it's actually for Google sharing this. Don't worry about it. You don't have to do that just yet, if ever. Let's view the blog now. You see how I've started this page here, and I would add more text to this. And in fact, I can copy more text in from someplace else at the moment, just to flesh this out. Or, if I haven't composed text elsewhere, I could spend some time adding to this. Notice here this pencil. If this appears at the bottom of the screen when you're working with your blog, it means you can click that and you'll get into the edit of that page. So all I'm going to do here to flesh this thing out a bit more, and this is not something you would do, but I'm just copying that same text so I get enough so that it goes under the picture just for example purposes. And now I'm going to update. I don't need to do this. And I'm going to view the blog. See, now the picture sits there rather nicely. You could adjust the location of the picture to some degree by going back into the edit and by moving the picture a bit. And sometimes this works fine, sometimes it doesn't work too well. You see, I could do this and put it underneath, but here it's only letting me put it at the top. And the top is where I want it. So I'm going to close this without saving it. It's going to say unsaved changes are lost. That's fine. I just wanted to demonstrate that you could move the picture around. And let's just view the blog to see where I'm at. Now, one thing I'd like to do is to put a little more space in between here, and I'd like to get rid of the comments. You see, as it stands, if somebody clicks this now, they're going to post a comment at the bottom of your page. This blog isn't really for the purpose of doing that. It isn't really for the purpose of gabfest, something where you're going to trade opinions back and forth with people. This is your professional portfolio. So what you really want to do here is get rid of this stuff. And the way that you do that is once again in design. It's in settings, and it's in posts and comments. And what you want to do, you want to hide comments. Just as a matter of safety, you could click these to be very restrictive, But you don't have to. Having hidden the comments and saved the settings, now if you go to view the blog, you see there's no possibility of putting comments down here, and this is what you want. The way a blog site is set up, this is where posts and comments go. Any other pages we put here are just static pages that don't accumulate comments ever. They're just places where you can display information, and that's what we're going to use. One more thing, I'm going to edit this. I'm going to go down here and I'm going to put about 3 lines of space and update. And the reason for that is that when I view this blog, it would be nice to have this clutter at the bottom of the screen a little distant from your text. By the way, this could have been broken up into multiple paragraphs, and it would have been kind of nice to do that, even though it really is the same verbiage in this example. So I'm just going to do this here, and we're going to see how this formats. And that's a little nicer. And you might even adjust this so that perhaps we don't have this one line hanging here, we just have text next to the size of the picture. But no matter. You don't want to put more than about this much on the page. With a banner that isn't quite as tall as this, it would be nice if everything that you've written on this page actually is displayed on the screen as it first comes up. Because many people don't catch on to the idea that you scroll down on these things. Okay, let's finish this up now. What I want to do is get rid of this blog archive stuff and even this about me, because all I want here is information contained in pages that I put up. So let's go do that now. I go to Design, I go to Layout, and here Pages is my menu pages. I want that. Blog Archive, I'm going to edit, and I'm going to scroll down and say remove it. About me, I'm going to edit, I'm going to remove. It kind of cleans this up a lot. I'm going to save the arrangement. I'm going to view the blog now. And this is coming to look more like what I want it to look like. Now, what I need to do at this point is add pages here for various items that I would like to post. My resume, accomplishments, whatever else you think might be relevant, including, I would say, so that you prepare yourself for Capstone Project 3, think about, you are going to be posting some videos out here, at least one training video to show that you know how to create videos, and you know how to create them with sound, you know how to edit them to make them concise and presentable, and you know how to post them. All of those things demonstrate immediately a skill with technology that many people out there just don't have. And by your doing this, you're telling people that you understand this magic of technology. That skill of being able to create videos for training purposes and written materials for training purposes or other purposes, as you'll learn in Capstone 4, it's going to be important in your career because the world has really gone digital. Many businesses are finding, or will soon find, that there are ways to make things more streamlined and efficient by using these technologies that you're being exposed to. So by you knowing these things, you're going to be kind of farther along. You have a head start in some of this that could tend to make you a hero in the workplace. So let's go ahead and do it. I want to add pages here. I'm going to go to Design. I'm going to go to Pages. And I want a new page here. A new blank page. It is possible to create something off to the side of the menu that just is a web address to go elsewhere, but we're not going to worry about that. We're going to create a blank page here. We title it, and we're going to say, My Resume. But here, what I'm suggesting you do is to give highlights of your experience and your education. But don't post your resume here. Make a nice paragraph describing yourself and the highlights and what you know and what a nice person you are, but also offer your resume. You don't want to give it away because there are a lot of nutcakes out there who will troll for information, may try and sell you something, or even worse, some kind of perps, perpetrators of ill. You don't want to give away too much information about yourself, but offer your resume, send me an email at, and whatever email address is, if you would like a copy of my resume. That way you can control who gets your resume. And you may tailor your resume for different purposes. If it's a company engaged in one kind of work, or they recommend certain job ads that you ought to respond to, you might want to tailor your resume to that. So you don't want to have just one resume anyhow. And I'll offer you some other advice about resume formation. In any case, you can indicate an email address in here that will become a live link. And let me just put my DePaul email address. Just to show you how that will become a link that's live. So let's save this. Now just a point, if I don't click publish, it's going to go in to be saved as a draft. So I do want to publish this. Let's view the blog. Now I have a second page out here. If someone clicks on it, they get what I put out there. This doesn't happen to be a live address at this point. It could be made into a live address if I go in and edit this, and I highlight it, and I click on link. You see, now it makes it into a link. I can update, I can view the blog, I can go to that page, and now this is a slightly different color, and when you cursor over it, it's going to get this mail to, and it may or may not work on somebody's system, depending on how they have their mechanism set up for email. Turns out, when you're using Google as an email carrier, it does work. But it's nice to know that some people, even if they can't get it that way, they're going to be able to, of course, just copy that address like this, and to copy that and paste it into their email system would be how they would communicate with you if this were your email address. Let's put up another page, and this page could be, and a new page here, a blank page, and this one might be accomplishments, and here you would list in bullet points some big stuff about what you have achieved. And to do that, you would just click this button and the bullet points will start, and you might say you got a perfect attendance award in kindergarten. Not really. That would be kind of a silly thing to put up there, as would be some sort of an excellence award in 6th grade. I'm just putting this here facetiously. This is not really stuff you would put there. You might put honor roll, info, dean's list, info. You might put scholarship, info, any other kind of awards you have received, and in general, anything positive that shows curricular activities, even things community-oriented, and volunteering that you've done. Okay, and when you stop doing that, now it reverts to ordinary text. A couple of blank lines, save this, and publish it. Now let's view the blog. At this point, you're well on your way to forming this blog site. You see accomplishments now comes up. with that bullet list. And you might then go back and correct the spacing a little bit. This is a little too close to that. If I go back here and edit this, you notice it doesn't look bad here, but it doesn't seem to come out too well there. Let's try that. Let's update. Let's view the blog, and let's go into accomplishments. And that space is a little bit better. And little things like that matter. If your potential employer is looking for an attention to detail, it's always good to be nice about this instead of sloppy, because you're showing something about yourself by doing that. Now, let's just do one more page, because I want to show you how to do something interesting here. We're going to go to Design, we're going to go to Pages, and we're going to create a new page. And what you want to title this is kind of interesting. It's an opportunity to say something meaningful. You might want to say video training. Let's say if I have prepared is a good enough title. It may be just a little bit too long. So you want to put some verbiage here, some introduction, the posting of the video that you're going to create in Capstone 3. So that's as much as I'll say right now, and let's actually insert a video here. To do that, this little clicker thing is what you're going to do. Now, a video to upload. Do you want to upload it? No. You want to pull it from YouTube. And by pulling it from YouTube, this is the selection you want, because this is going to go look for all your videos. Now, strangely enough, there's no videos found because I'm using an account that is not the account I post videos from. If you've already posted a video and you're logged into the same account you used to post it, then this will work for you and you'll find your most recent videos at the top. I'm going to go to YouTube. I'm going to have to search a bit, and I'm just going to pull up anything that I've put out there. There is a short video about a nuke, and it's this one. It's happened to have gotten an awful lot of views, but it's very short. I'm just going to stick this in here just as an example. Once again, it won't necessarily format as you see it here once we view it, and I'm just going to say this is text after the video so you can see how it formats. Now, let's save that. Let's publish it. Let's view the blog. Here, this seems to fit video training I have prepared. And when we go there, we get the video embedded. I can adjust the spacing here a little bit. It might be nice to have another line there, since I have the text that follows spaced a bit away from the video. So let's do that. And let's also put our couple of lines down there, update, and view the blog. Now, I'm pretty far along in accomplishing this professional website, and here what I get is this video put in here, and I can play it here if I want to, and it will present in this small appearance, which is fine for our purposes. It will present faster than it would if you made the video larger. If you wanted to adjust how large the video is, you would have to go in and fiddle around just a bit with the HTML, which I'm not really worried about at this point. So what have you got? At this point, you now have a very credible professional blog website. This could be made accessible to anybody by supplying this address. Let's just check that out to confirm that. I've copied that address. I'm going to sign out, and I'm going to get rid of all of these instances because the blogger has set up a separate screen for most of my actions. I'm just going to get out of the browser completely. I'm going to come back in, and I'm going to see what this blog looks like if someone goes directly to it. And here you have it. It comes up just as we had seen before, except there is no pencil down here. People viewing this can't change it, And there's no ability to post comments here either. They're not intended for this sort of a site. So how many pages can you post? You can post up to 20. But there's really no reason to post that many. What else can you include here in the way of gadgets? Lots of things, but for your purposes, this is not intended to be a site that entertains. This is a site that informs. And by forming your banner so that it's custom images, things that are relevant to you, you can make this into an extremely credible professional site. The advantage of doing this is, first of all, of course, it's free, but even more importantly, you formed it in a way that's very custom by way of this banner, and this site is completely under your control. It's independent of any software that any institution, DePaul or otherwise, maintains. This has no restrictions on it, except that you can't use this to peddle things and sell things, because that's one of the rules of Blogspot. This isn't for commercial purposes. This is something where you're putting information up through this rather convenient mechanism. What I've tried to show you here is how to do that in a way that's very professional looking and gives you the opportunity to present information about yourself on the web, including multimedia and images. If you make the content of this professional, as I've tried to indicate in my example in contemporary computing, you're building yourself an asset here. You can maintain it, you can update it anytime you like, you can share it with anyone you like. And that's really what you need in the modern world in order to put your best foot forward in seeking a career position.